Hey guys, I'm Teldo, and today I want to try something new. I want to try out a new video type, and I'd call it Teldo Talks. I'm not sure with the name yet. And in these videos I want to talk about specific topics in Guild Wars 2, focused on PvP and or the engineer. And the topic today is random effects in PvP. Well, what are random effects? Obviously stuff like crits and proc chances from sigils. RNG effects like that are common in most RPGs, and honestly, I guess random effects like those are absolutely okay. But in Guild Wars 2 there are other RNG effects which aren't okay, in my opinion. Engineer probably has most of them. I'll give you a few examples. Elixir B, Elixir H and Elixir X. I'll try to explain each one of those in certain situations, to show you what I don't like about them. Let's start with Toss Elixir B. When Elixir B gets tossed, it has the chance to apply either Swiftness, Fury or Might. Each one of those boons can be very helpful in some situations, or they can be pretty useless. For example, when I and my team want to get from point A to point B as fast as possible, I obviously want to buff my team and myself with Swiftness. In a situation like this, Fury or Might would be useless. In combat though, it might be more useful to get Fury or Might instead of Swiftness. You could argue that little RNG effects like those don't have a huge impact, but they could definitely win or lose very close fights. Elixir H. When you heal yourself, you get either Swiftness, Regeneration or Protection. It's pretty much the same issue like with Toss Elixir B. When you throw Elixir H though, you have the chance to get Regeneration, Protection or Vigor. Well, when is the right moment to toss an Elixir H then? When I am at 100% HP and I throw it, I might get Protection, which would help me a lot to reduce the incoming damage by 33%, which would be extremely effective. But when I'm at 100% HP and I get Regeneration or Vigor, it's just very ineffective, because at 100% HP I probably also have 100% Endurance, and those two buffs regenerate those resources. So yeah, when I'm at full HP then they won't help me very much. And this random chance just makes this whole Toss Elixir H skill very unreliable and unattractive for me. It moves the skill in my priority of skills down by a lot, because it's just so unreliable and I can't be sure that the skill would even help me in situations where I need something to strengthen my defense. So I'd much rather use a knockback or some kind of other CC to increase my defense. And last but not least, Elixir X. Probably the RNG effect with the biggest impact. It transforms the engineer in one of 3 elite forms from other classes, which would be Plague, Tornado and Rampage. And those forms have a huge impact on the outcome of battles, because they obviously are elite skills, which can be very powerful. I'll try to explain to you what I don't like about it with an example. Imagine a close match. The enemy team only needs a few more points to victory. They have 1 capture point and they camp it with 3 people. In order to have a chance to win, you need to neutralize that point as fast as possible and force a 3-0 base victory. To achieve that, it's probably the best way to just use a tornado and jump into the point and to keep knocking the enemies out and neutralize it. But what if you get the Plague form in that situation? Of course you would run into them and dot them and deal good damage. They might even go down eventually, but they will still remain in the capture point in down state and prevent you from capping it until they are stomped. So you'd lose because it would take way too long. That one elite skill could win or lose the game in that situation. It could be very powerful or just useless. And that's what I just dislike about that skill. So I decided to think about a way to remove RNG from those spells. I'd do it like that. Toss Elixir B gives you Fury and or Might when in combat, and when out of combat it gives you Swiftness. Toss Elixir H. When your HP is above 50%, you will get protection. When your HP is below 50%, you would get regeneration in addition to protection. And when your endurance is below 25%, you would get vigor in addition to the other 2 buffs. And yeah, so it would give you 3 buffs if you're below 50% HP and below 25% endurance. It might be too strong, but I personally think it's okay, because regeneration isn't that strong anyway, and I personally would prefer protection in most cases. And that's why I would give regeneration in addition to protection if you're below 50% HP. And it would also add a little skill factor to that ability, because people would wait, when they are at 60% HP, they would wait those 10% to get an additional regeneration buff, or they might even make another dodge roll to get vigor. And I would really like that change. Elixir X could just be determined by the build you're running. So if your highest stat is condition damage, you would get Plague, because Plague is scaling with condition damage, and if you have a lot of power and no condition damage, then Plague isn't that strong, and yeah, that's just a wasted elite then. If your highest stat is power, you would get Rampage, because it scales with power. And if your highest stat is a defensive one, for example toughness, vitality, or even healing power, you would get Tornado, because Tornado doesn't scale well with either power or condition damage, and it's more a utility thing. Those ideas are at least an approach to move away a little bit from those RNG factors, which are bad in PvP, especially in competitive PvP. I don't know what you guys think, but feel free to discuss or give ideas about it in the comments. This video is, like I said before, a try to do something new than only showing commented PvP matches. I'd be glad if you could tell me if you like the concept and the topic I chose today. If people like this video, I might as well continue this series later on. I would appreciate suggestions about other possible topics I could talk about. Of course, they should be about PvP and/or the engineer. I thank you very much for listening, and see you guys next time.